So my name is Leilani Roser, and I work at the MIT Edgerton Center in support of K through 12 teachers that want to do maker stuff and use maker practices and maker activities in their day-to-day work in the classroom.
And what kinds of skills are you in need of to achieve some of the things that you're working on? What kind of labor is it? What kind of expertise do you bring to what you're trying to do?
Well, I was a K through 12 teacher, so I worked as a sub for a couple of years before deciding, yes, I'm going to do this. Thought it would be good to test the waters, make sure I wouldn't lose my mind. And I didn't. It was really fun. And I became a biology teacher for high school students in the Boston Public Schools for 3 years. I moved into after school and out of school time as a STEM teacher for middle schoolers. I did some consulting work for a STEM camp called I2 Camps, which is very makery in nature. The kids do a lot of hands-on projects and a lot of sort of open-ended projects. There's a really popular I2 course that the MIT Media Lab offered them, where you get to make a friendly monster. So you can sew a little plush doll, you can program it to make different noises and blink at different rates. You can build one that interacts with you if you touch it to close a circuit. So these are the kinds of educational opportunities that just really speak to me, because you get to be a little creative, you get to do something fun, and you can really learn a lot in the process. I mean, I had not previously coded until I was advising on the I2 Camp curriculum, and I had my own opportunity to put together one of the friendly monsters.
So, what brought you to NoM Con?
I came to NoM Con with my project lead, Diane Brancasio, another former K through 12 educator who also was once an engineer. We came because we just wanted to meet a bunch of other makers. I mean, we weren't 100% sure who would be here. We thought that K through 12 might be a little bit of a niche in the greater maker community. I mean, there's so many awesome people here. I mean, there's the people who are here doing assistive technology and accessible making. There are people who are doing government policy level work, trying to make sure that making activities and maker spaces are more available to the greater public, more available to kids in school. I mean, there's just so many different types of making and levels of advocacy for making that are being represented here that I didn't know existed. So it's kind of nice to be able to come and meet other people who are doing different things.
And do you think that you will be able to gain something positive from your encounters here?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've met so many cool people. I mean, I've met you doing your maker tour project of the US. And that's actually going to be really helpful for us, because we would really like to dive into a little more depth with our partner schools that we're working with for K through 12 project design, because there are so many schools at different levels of the stage of experience with making in their classrooms. And it's nice to be able to share with people just sort of the progression. I mean, we have people that have been doing it for a couple of years and moved on to design thinking. We have people that are just starting this year. We have people that are sort of doing it by themselves. We have people, well, actually, that's not entirely true. I'll come back to that. We have people who are sort of like the loneliest and loudest voice at their school advocating for maker spaces. And then we have other people that have really collaborative teams already coming together, trying to come up with good projects that really suit what the kids and the teachers are looking for. For example, in a school that's got a makerspace going this year, after 5 years of working with STEAM as a district initiative, they've got makerspaces now as a new district initiative. So I'll go back to talking about your tour of makerspaces. Inspired me, because we would really like to be able to do features on our partner schools that are working with us to do more making in their core curricula, because video is such a great medium. It's very shareable. You can show all kinds of wonderful things about the space, about the people in it, and you can just share so much more information than you could by writing a couple paragraphs and throwing up a snapshot. So we'd like to offer the paragraphs and the snapshot, but there's just something really nice about being able to see a living makerspace. Meeting you has been good because now I can check out your channel and see ways that you're featuring other makerspaces on video. I've met other people here who, for instance, this blinky bow tie. So Natasha runs this business. I forget the name. I'll have to send it to you and you can put it on the bottom of the screen or something. But she makes maker kits with simple activities like this. That's her. So this bow tie comes in a kit sold by Natasha Journey. She runs a business called Techno Chic, and it just offers a lot of very simple entrees into skills that you can use in a makerspace, like working with electronics, working with craft materials, hybridized with electronics. And she was able to talk to me today and ask, so you're a K-12 person. What kind of usage do you think a K through 12 teacher would get out of this? What kind of usage do you think a K through 12 parent might get out of this? Do you see people buying these for parties, which is one avenue she's already been exploring. So she and another maker person who works at the government policy level were over at her table making blinky bow ties and flowers and talking to her about ways that her business could be popular with customers. So coming here, she got like free focus group feedback. Networking with people who are running small maker-based business and maker-inspiring businesses, like Techno Chic, who produced this bow tie, meeting other people who are working in the K-12 arena. I just met somebody yesterday who was doing K-12 stuff for a different region. I can't remember who it is. In fact, one very nice thing about coming here has been
the stack of
business cards. Look at this. So I met somebody who was doing assistive technology but wanted to talk about K-12 stuff. I met Leo Wise Sergei from Cruces Creatives, committed to providing a makerspace in Las Cruces, serving the community's needs in science, education, the arts, and more. And she and her co-rep wanted to talk more about K-12 stuff. I met a guy in Connecticut who works in community college spaces, Vladimir Mariano. He works for Desktop Makes, and he also runs the Makers Guild in Connecticut. What else do we have here? Oh, look, who's this? All right, and we've got I didn't even notice how lovely Natasha's Techno Chic card was. What are these gray blocks? Oh, Constructs, Pamela Jennings, on the board of Nation of Makers. So she does a lot of VR and AR artwork. We were just talking today about the space she shares with a dance troupe and the internal struggle between a space that must remain clear for dancers and must remain full of wonderful objects for a visual artist. I met Erica Compton from the Idaho STEM Action Center. I think a lot of people, they think of Idaho, they don't think of it as a STEM hub, but the STEM Action Center has been really crucial in raising a lot of funds and awareness of the importance of STEM industries, STEAM collaborations between arts and sciences, and the importance of making. So hats off to her, they're doing a lot of really great work. I met Wesley Etheridge, Wes, who does a lot of work with veterans. He does a lot of work with people who have experienced PTSD and are experiencing anger management. I met a very nice guy from Georgia Tech and Decatur Makers Makerspace. There's just so many people here who are doing things. He wanted to talk more about K-12 stuff. I know that their makerspaces are family friendly. They're meant to appeal to all ages. They have, drafting software that is kid friendly, like Tinkercad, and they also have some very fancy equipment. They were talking with a guy from Hackberry about what it would be like to build a panel saw. So, there's just such a wonderful exchange of ideas here, and even if they're ideas that don't directly apply to me, I mean, that's the stuff that goes in the back of your head and you pull it out later. Or, you know, you can help people who are looking for a resource. Like, oh, I know a guy who knows how to make a panel saw. I can put you in touch.
Are there any other thoughts or ideas that you wanted to share? Yeah.
Wow.
This is a little different because I usually have a different format because it's individual makers. I ask them what their passion is, where they learn to do it. If kids were to ask them if kids were to express an interest in where to do those types of things and tips and advice, what tips and advice would you give them?
For kids?
For a kid that would come to you trying to do the things that you do. But in this case, this is more about the access to other maker spaces and networking with that kind of thing, and the value you see in that, and the things that you're working on are building a program. So,
well, you know, if I could go back in time and talk to myself as a kid, I think the first thing I would say is don't be afraid to make something crappy. I mean, that held me back from doing a lot of what I wanted to do until I was an adult. I mean, I'm a musician, and I didn't start singing in public until I was 27. And by now, I've founded or co-founded 3 or 4 bands. I play guitar, I play drums. I didn't really picture myself doing any of this stuff before. And I will also say, if you wish you could do something and you don't see anybody who reminds you of yourself doing that stuff, don't be afraid to search for a mentor. I mean, there's a lot for me. I didn't really grow up in a community where there were a lot of other people who looked like me, and it didn't really occur to me for a very long time as a girl that I might grow up and play guitar. I loved singing, and I heard plenty of female singers, and I would sing along to any man and woman on the radio on classic rock radio. Thanks 101.5 KGB. But it wasn't really until I started playing with a band, I got to watch the people around me who were men play instruments, that I kind of got to see them and say, oh, I think I could do this. Like, sometimes it takes that real life step of seeing, you know, just somebody and, you know, making friends with that person, you know, just connecting with somebody who is happy to take the time to work with you, to show you how they work. You know, it's really helpful.
Alrighty, well, if you don't have anything else you wanted to share, I think that's pretty good.
Cool.
All right, thank you.